It's exactly 8 p.m. here in our studios in Douala, and of course, as you know, it's time for the primetime newscast on Canada English. The headlines: the third and final ordinary session of Parliament has ended in Yaoundé today, despite several problems that witnessed at this session, notably the SDF boycott, fire incident that brought down the glass house, and a demonstration of anger that led to the wounding of an MP. A total of 4,513.5 billion francs CFA was voted for the budget for 2018 year. Plus, could the Limbe Deep Sea Port finally see the light of day? As Parliament rounded off its November session today, it was announced that part of the 2018 budget would be used for the construction of the Limbe Deep Sea Port. And still in this newscast, we continue our Christmas series report, where markets have now been flooded with goods, and parents and kids are now in a dilemma on what to choose for Christmas. Those were the major stories. Now, the third and final ordinary session of Parliament has come to an end today in Yaoundé with the adoption of 6 bills, one of which is the bill on the budget for 2018 that stands at some 4,513.5 billion francs CFA, education, health, and the creation of job opportunities. It was also announced at the closing ceremony that part of the budget will be used in the creation of the Limbe Deep Sea Port. Expectations to have the Limbe Deep Sea Port had for some time died down, as the people of Limbe and Southwest in general had been hoping for long for the construction of this seaport. They hope would boost economic development. The announcement at the National Assembly has now raised some hopes. Now, the Ministry of Economic Planning and Regional Development has been evaluating the level of execution of cooperation projects with partners in Yaoundé. Now, this is to ensure smooth follow-up and respect of disbursement procedures, as our reporter Beatrice Ngamo tells us in the following report.
In 2012, 545 billion CFA francs was disbursed for important development projects in various different sectors here in Cameroon.
The construction of the Membele hydroelectric dam, the construction of the Yaoundé-Douala highway, the construction of the Limbe and Bafoussam stadiums, the construction of the sports complex of Japoma in Douala, the construction of the Garoua Referral Hospital.
Time to evaluate the level of these projects with accent on performance of portfolio. The reason for the review of projects of cooperation portfolio with emerging countries, the Ministry of Economic Planning and Regional Development, represented by a Secretary General, chaired this December 12.
When the projects are not mature, it's difficult when the financing are there to execute those projects, and that's why we have to change, to reverse the situation, and the government is now working with our technical and financial partners to really improve, so that the next time we are able to go to more than 80% of our performance. Yeah.
Korea is one of the partner countries in these portfolio cooperation projects. Her success story
is the emergency center in Yaoundé. This is the first independent emergency center in sub-Saharan Africa, and it was reported in many media outlets that even the former captain of des Lions Indomptables, Rigaud Berson, was treated there before coming back.
This for good foundation for further cooperation. 3 days of reflection is ongoing to that effect at the Yaoundé Conference Center.
Now, as the countdown to Christmas narrows down, many parents and kids are now in a state of dilemma, deciding on what to buy as gift for Christmas. Now, many parents in the Douala market say that apart from purchasing just what the children need, they also buy toys because they believe it's also important for the development of their kids. As you tell us, Gladys Ambodziban.
It is another Christmas season, a period when children expect gifts from Father Christmas and also from their parents and loved ones. On the shelves of markets, supermarkets and local shops, toys of all types are exhibited. Cars, planes, drones, computers, phones and other technological devices, bicycles, kitchen utensils and dolls are amongst the toys exhibited. This year, many black dolls are found in the market and they will certainly interest parents. Amongst the gifts, planes, dolls and sound-producing toys are highly solicited.
Parents for girls, for young girls as from 2.5, they do prefer dolls like this, how do we call it again? Barbie, yeah. The price is very interesting, it's affordable, it's at 8,900. That one is really good because it's also a bag. The child can go along with it without any problem. Apart from that, we also have things like these cars. They are coming with how do we call it, the disposal for it to play.
The toys are for the different age groups, beginning from 7 months.
We have different types of toys. We have drums, we have pianos, we have everything for a child to start waking up his senses. So we have things that will be very colorful, that will help him to develop, for example, his sight, because you have orange, blue, yellow, all these kind of colors. And you also have sounds. That's why we have drums, like I was saying, we have pianos, all these kind of things.
Parents and children who visit the toy stands are faced with the problem of choice. Mr. Tang, for example, needs a toy that will help in the cognitive and mental development of his 4-year-old child.
I'm looking for something that can stimulate him to acquire some skills. Let's say if he can have or develop some awareness about numbers or about letters. So I'm moving around to see if I could meet something for him.
Whatever the prices, parents have a choice to make from the different gifts available in the markets.
Now, following rumors that the Far North was under imminent threat of food security and famine, the governor of that region, Mijiyawa Bakari, has stated in very clear terms that there is no threat of famine or food insecurity in the Far North region of the country. Now, he was speaking in the course of an administrative and security meeting for the region that ended recently. Our reporter Indira Ayok has the details of that story.
The Administrative and Security Committee meeting for the Far North region held recently at a time when there has been a fresh suicide attack in the area. On the table of discussion, a total of 6 presentations were made with focus on education, health, agriculture, public works and customs. The discussions which ensued were supervised by the governor of the Far North region, Mijiyawa Bakari, who dished out some guidelines and recommendations to his collaborators. People are beginning to return to their villages since places are a lot calmer now. About 230,000 displaced people are beginning to come back to the Far North region from Nigeria. The number of attacks from the radical Boko Haram sect have declined. We can also spot some tourists from Congo, from France and Germany in the locality. Their presence is an indication that things are getting back to normal and many more tourists will be visiting the area. Mijiyawa Bakari noted with satisfaction the fact that several schools have reopened in the area after the spate of terrorist attacks which hit the Far North region over the past few years. Several hostages have also been released and are glad to be back home. While in captivity, I suffered a lot in the hands of my captors. I served as a farmer to them, and they even threatened to kill me, but my elder brother stepped in. I am glad to be back home. Addressing concerns raised by many with regards to food insecurity and famine, the Far North boss brushed aside all of these as rumors aimed at instilling fear in the population.
Now, the government of Cameroon is preparing its industries for competition from foreign products. Now, with the floodgates open for EU products, the government is doing everything possible to provide technical support for home-based industries, as Kejang Henry Atembe reports.
Cameroon's interim commitment to the Economic Partnership Agreement no doubt opened the floodgates for European goods to enter the country. And day by day, the government is doing everything to upgrade the capacities of domestic enterprises to meet up with quality goods from Europe.
There's a lot of things that have been discussed and adopted during this session. But what really was of our concern was the impetus that has been put into the upgrading program, enterprise upgrading program, because during the 5th session last time, we were concerned by the level, the rate of achievement was 27%.
In order to help local industries withstand the shocks, the European Union-sponsored program to improve Cameroon's competitiveness is bringing its technical support.
We have come out with very good results. The best example I can give to you is the e-registration, creation of a company online, which is one of our best achievements. Now we have done so many things apart this project, such as one-stop shop of Urbanism Act and some others.
The technical team is meeting in Douala to evaluate the strides made so far to upgrade local industries. The European Development Fund and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization provides 10 million euros as financial assistance.
We'll now take you to the northwest region of the country, where the mayor of the Bamenda 3 municipality has complained that the current crisis that's plaguing the northwest and the southwest region of the country has dealt a bitter blow on the financial entries of his municipality. Now, the mayor has also explained that most of the projects of his area were completed under serious difficulties. Dee Maureen has the details.
Next financial year, Bamenda 3 Municipal Council will function on a budget of 589 million francs CFA. It is the main outcome of a budgetary session that held at the council chambers at the already growing Mano quarters in Kweng, presenting the projected budget, which has witnessed a drop compared to last year. Mayor says the ongoing social crisis has dealt a great blow on their financial entries.
For all what they have done for us to go this far in 2017. 2017 have been a very, very difficult year as far as our realization are concerned. I think this is due to the social crisis that have not permitted us to realize the taxes that we have been realizing before. But that notwithstanding, the commitment that the councillors have taken for the 2018 fiscal year is that they are going to go out there, sensitize the population, and make sure that the population, they pay their taxes for development to be enhanced.
From the various committee reports, it was noticed that some of the earmarked projects of the current year were realized with some difficulties for the same reasons of economic hardship. Attending the council session for the first time, the divisional officer for Bamenda 3, Sone Clement, representing the senior divisional officer, gave assurance that the land dispute between Nza and Bambili will soon be resolved, pleading that councillors should help give correct facts for lasting solutions to the problem.
Now, presidential hopeful for the 2018 presidential election, Marshal Bisoka has revealed the humorous side of him. Now, this was during a press point that took place in Douala, where he announced his upcoming show in Cameroon and abroad. Christelle Catala was part of that gathering, and here is her report.
Known for over 20 years as a journalist, editorialist, writer, and later on as a politician, Martial Bissok reveals another part of him. Media men were carried away by laughter for over 1 hour 30 minutes.
20 minutes, ça donne quelque chose, non? Et d'ailleurs, c'est pour ça que je disais à la fin que ce métier qu'on fait là, c'est la folie des glandeurs. Personne ne fait ça pour être anonyme.
He has baptized this style of humor One Man Fra.
We have to make the bridge, not to build the wall between Cameroonians. In spite the fact that you are coming from Gokletunja, me from Gokletuba, we can notice that we are the same. So I want to send this message to all my brother in the remoting village, in Donga Mantung, Meme Division, in Boya, Limbe, Douala, Bagante, Bankomo, Kribi. So we have the chance, the main chance to build a nation.
His source of humor is drawn from life experience in the media, as well as cultural, political, economic, and social happenings in Cameroon and in the world.
I'm an observer. I'm obliged to deliver what I saw. And I'm like a doctor who treat and who propose the issue to the Cameroonian problem. I cannot solve all those problems, but allow me to tell something.
Martial Bissok will be performing on Friday, December 22nd at Canal Olympia in Douala and on the 28th of December in Yaoundé. He is equally announced in Chang and in France in April 2018.
Now, 36 agro-pastoral farmers groups have received support grants from the program for the improvement of competitiveness of family agro-pastoral farms. Now, they received checks of over 127 million francs CFA in order to improve on productivity and competition. Ndi Maureen has the details of that story.
There were originally 36 agro-pastoral farmer groups earmarked to receive support grants from the program for the improvement of competitiveness of family agro-pastoral farms Tuesday in Bamenda, but 7 were not privileged to have benefited. There are those who still have situations to regularize back in their localities. That is just one of the reasons why ASEF has put in place stringent measures for the effective use of funds put at their disposal by France-Cameroon cooperation ties through the Ministries of Agriculture and Livestock. The unbended nature of the rules is what has kept it moving since inception in 2008.
National level and certified at regional level, and so have fulfilled the condition for funding. Now that the money is at that level, it is recommended that it should put it only for the purpose of which it was requested. No embezzlement and no misappropriation. And it is thanks to this that we ensure that this will go a long way to increase production and productivity in the rural and consequently eliminating poverty.
My other region, it is that the work has been done and we are very satisfied. Not we, the people that are responsible for the management of the program, but our stakeholders, the 2 ministries, the Ministry of Economic Planning, the Ministry of Finance, and also the Agence Française de Développement, who is financing the program. From last July, we signed a new convention. The government of Cameroon and the Agence Française de Développement signed a new convention to finance the 3rd phase of the program.
Having successfully mounted and had their projects selected, farmer groups from Donga Mantung, Bui and Mezam divisions have received checks of over 127 million francs CFA to improve on productivity and standards of living.
We forgo biting like goat and small cow for a village where we're there, and they will make we some place where we feed that cow and the goat.
We for the money for help with for transport we come truck back for house. Then they can help with for sprayer for the spray we are farm. They don't help with plenty thing them be important for farmers.
As they return home, the beneficiaries have in the back of their minds the warnings from officials of Minepia and Mina Day on how the support should be put into effective use to avoid being dragged to court because others are waiting for their turns to also benefit.
And we also talk education in this newscast, where the Government Technical Teachers Training College in Douala has graduated its 17th batch of students today. Now, the graduation ceremony took place under the chairmanship of the Senior Divisional Officer for Vuri. Our reporter Thomas Mokum witnessed the graduation ceremony and brought back this report.
Created in 1997 and went operational in 2000, the Government Technical Teachers College, GTTC, recently graduated the 17th batch of the trainees. The graduation ceremony that took place at the Ngudi Bakoko campus of the school was chaired by the Senior Divisional Officer for Wuri. Taking the oath of their profession, the 210 students in the government section and the 36 in the private section promised to use their knowledge acquired for the education of all students entrusted to them.
For the education of every pupils. For the education of every pupils.
The training that lasted for 3 years goes with a lot of challenges. The director of the school, Yepga Matilda Teres, confirms.
The children don't pay their fee school at the beginning of the year. They pay a little. It is difficult to me to analyze the financial because I'm not financial. I am a lawyer.
The Government Technical Teachers College in Douala operates in 11 different disciplines, and teaching technical teachers in English is not an easy task.
Graduating from GTTC, it's not the state who is going to employ them. They can be self-employed. They can open their own. They can create their own jobs. They have received all the methods to have it.
It was not a bed of roses on the part of the students who burned the midnight candles and sometimes have classes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Through this training, we have been very, very happy because the training was very fun and very good. But the difficulty that we faced as a net privé, it was about the school fees. It was not easy for us. We just tried many things about school fees. It was not easy, but by the grace of God, we came at the end. We are very, very happy. We thank God for everything.
The graduation ceremony was graced by traditional dance groups from the school.
We wish them luck as they find their lives in the real job market. Well, now we talk culture in this newscast, and the Bonateke clan in Douala have launched a week-long festival to exhibit their traditional attire, which stands as a symbol of unity. Now, the chief of Bonateke told pressmen in Douala today that the festival is equally an opportunity for them to brainstorm on how they can effectively develop their county. We have the report with Gladys Ambodiban.
Bonateke is one of the biggest villages in the Daido Canton in Douala, Cameroon's economic city. The sons and daughters of this village have woke up from slumber and want to overcome development challenges in the locality. They have, to that effect, launched their traditional outfits.
You find all the sub-villages of Bonateke and their names. We have 9 sub-villages under the command of our first chief. We call him first chief because we have an agreement that we all accept as the first chief, and then after him it is me, because I represent 4 sub-villages, he represents 5.
During a press conference granted by the chief of Bonateke, Ekabuma Mbedinjo, he underscored the importance of the traditional fabric that is being launched 22 years after the last one. He says the fabric is very symbolic and stands as an element to identify the sons and daughters of Bonateke and thus brings them together.
It's a sign for us that This line is what shows everybody that we are from Bonateki. Yes. It's just to recognize that we belong all to Bonateki.
In Bonateki, women play a vital role. They have been called upon to remain steadfast in their responsibility. Some sons and daughters of Bonateki have relocated to localities like Peka Katols and Bonandale in Bonaberi, and only a ceremony like this brings them together. The festival runs until December 16, 2017.
Well, it's on that cultural note that we've come to the end of this edition of the News on Canado English. Thanks for watching. But of course, you can follow up all the stories we are following on other programs you've missed by visiting our website www.canadoenglish.net. You can also follow us on Facebook at Canado English, and of course, our Twitter handle is at Canado English. Have a good night. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye.
The Cameroon Airlines Corporation, Cameco, now flies the Senegalese airspace. The inaugural flight was on December 8, 2017. Boeing 737-700 new generation touched down at the newly inaugurated Blaise Ndiang Airport after a 4-hour 45-minute flight and was received with a Dakar inaugural bath. The pilot was a happy man. The passengers, upon arrival in Dakar, appreciated the trip and had this to say.
I'm already foreseeing going to America through Dakar. It's going to be shorter. So very happy, and I wish all the best to Cameco.
Great, that's great. A little bumpy, but somewhere in Burkina Faso, but it was fantastic all along. I enjoyed myself.
We had a nice flight, and it was very comfortable. And keep it up, Cameco, keep it up.
Cameco has as objective satisfy its customers, and services on board are tailored to ensure that every trip with Cameco remains memorable. Amongst passengers was the GM, Ernest Ndikum, who exchanged with all on board. During a gala rich in Cameroonian and Senegalese culture, authorities and guests from both countries were further presented Cameco's vision.
Cameco schedule for Dakar is 4 weekly flights every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. So for between now and until the end of this year, we'll be flying here 4 times a week. But as from 2018, when we begin operations in Abidjan, we'll be flying here on a daily basis.
To the general manager, Ernest Ndikum, the Dakar route is rebuilding relationship and historic at the same time.
We are rebuilding the bridges between the Cameroonian and the Senegalese community, and we are very, very pleased of the job that has been accomplished by our employees, our guys at Cameco, who are doing a wonderful job in making sure that when the flight takes off, the flight lands. So today the flight landed in the new airport in Senegal as the first new carrier in this airport. This is historic.
The star of Cameroon, Cameco, keeps breaking new grounds as it continues with its redressing process. Today, the airlines operates 7 domestic flights and 6 regional ones. That is Cotonou, N'Djamena, Libreville, Bangui, Abidjan, and Dakar.